maybe the search is on another computer, but anyway, I'll find it. I found it last week.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
In the meantime, I will tell the folks on YouTube that we're continuing our reading of Ulysses, and we are in the very last chapter, and we are on the very last pages. So we
Mhm.
might actually complete the reading today. Might. The
Right.
operative word here is might. And with that being said, for those of you who are reading the Wordsworth book, it's going to be on page 670, last paragraph.
Mhm.
And in Gabler, it is 633. And with that being said, I will begin. So, who knows? Is there anything the matter with my insides? Or I have something growing in me, getting that thing like that every week when it was last? Whit Monday. Yes, it's only about 3 weeks. I ought to go in to the doctor. Only it would be like before I married him when I had that white thing coming from me. And Chloe made me go to that dry old stick Dr. Collins for women's diseases on Pembroke Road. Your vagina, he called it. I suppose that's how he got all the gilt mirrors and carpets, getting round those rich ones off Stephen's Green, running up to him for every little fiddle faddle, her vagina and her Cochin china. They got money, of course, so they're all right. I wouldn't marry him, not if he was the last man in the world. Besides, there's something queer about their children. Always smelling about those filthy bitches all sides, asking me if what I did had an offensive odor. What did he want me to do? But the one thing gold, maybe. What a question. If I smattered it all with his wrinkly old face for him with all my compliment, I suppose he'd know then. And could you pass it off? Could you pass it easily? Pass? What, I thought he was talking about the Rock of Gibraltar. Next reader, please.
The way he put, oh, the way he put it, that's a very nice invention too, by the way. Only I like letting myself down after in the hole as far as I can squeeze and pull the chain than to flush it. Nice cool pins and needles. Still, there's something in it, I suppose. I always used to know by Millie's when she was a child whether she had worms or not. Still, all the same paying him for that. How much is that, doctor? 1 guinea, please. And asking me, had I frequent omissions? Where do those old fellows get all those words that they have? Omissions? With his short-sighted eyes on me cocked sideways. I wouldn't trust him too far to give me chloroform, or God knows what else. Still, I liked him when he sat down to write the thing out, frowning so severe, his nose intelligent, like that. You be damned, you lying strap. Oh, anything, no matter who, except an idiot. He was clever enough to spot that, of course, that was all thinking of him in his mad, crazy letters. My precious one, everything connected with your glorious body, everything underlined that comes from it is a thing of beauty and of joy forever. Something he got out of some nonsensical book that he had. Me always at myself 4 and 5 times a day sometimes. And I said I hadn't. Are you sure? Oh, yes, I said, I am quite sure, in a way that shut him up. I knew what was coming next, only natural weakness. He excited me. I don't know how the first night ever we met when I was living in Rehoboth Terrace. We stood staring at one another for about 10 minutes, as if we met somewhere. I suppose on account of my being Jewish after looking after my mother. He used to amuse me, the things he said with a half slothering smile on him. And all the Doyles said he was going to stand for a member of Parliament. Oh, wasn't I the born fool to believe all his blather about home rule and the land league, sending me that long strool of a song out of the Huguenots to sing in French to be more classy, au beau pays de la Touraine, that I never sang once, explaining and rigmaroling about religion and persecution. Next, please.
He won't let you enjoy anything naturally, then. He might have he might then might he, as a great favor, the very first opportunity he got a chance in Brighton Square, running into my bedroom, pretending the ink got on his hands, to wash it off with the Albion milk and sulphur soap I used to use, and the gelatine still round it. Oh, I laughed myself sick at him that day. Better not make an all-night sitting on this affair. They ought to make chambers a natural size, so that a woman could sit on it properly. He kneels down to do it. I suppose there isn't in all creation another man with the habits he has. Look at the way he's sleeping at the foot of the bed. How can he, without a hard bolster? It's well he doesn't kick, or he might knock out all my teeth, breathing with his hand on his nose like that Indian god he took me to show one wet Sunday in the museum in Kildare Street, all yellow in a pinafore, lying on his side, on his hand, with his 10 toes sticking out, that he said was a bigger religion than the Jews and our lords, both put together all over Asia, imitating him, as he's always imitating everybody. I suppose he used to sleep at the foot of the bed too, with his big square feet up in his wife's mouth. Damn this stinking thing anyway. Where's those napkins are? Ah, yes, I know. I hope the old press doesn't creak. I knew it would. He's sleeping hard. Had a good time somewhere. Still, she must have given him great value for his money. Of course, he has to pay for it from her. Oh, this nuisance of a thing. I hope they'll have something better for us in the other world. Oh,
Tying ourselves up. God help us. That's all right for tonight. Now the lumpy old jingly bed always reminds me of old Cohen. I suppose he scratched himself in it often enough, and he thinks father bought it from Lord Napier that I used to admire when I was a little girl because I told him. Easy piano. Oh, I like my bed. God, here we are, as bad as ever. After 16 years. How many houses were we in at all? Raymond Terrace and Ontario Terrace and Lombard Street and Hollis Street, and he goes about whistling every time we're on the run again. Huguenots or the Frogs March, pretending to help the men with our four sticks of furniture. And then the City Arms Hotel, worse and worse, says Warden Daly, that charming place on the landing. Always somebody inside praying, then leaving all their stinks after them. Always know who's in there last. Every time we're just getting on right, something happens, or he puts his big foot in it. Toms and Healy's and Mr. Cuffs and Drimmy's. Either he's going to be run into prison over his old lottery tickets, that was to be all our salvations, or he goes and gives impudence. We'll have him coming home with the sack soon out of the Freeman too, like the rest on account of those Thinner Fane or the Freemasons. Then we'll see if the little man he showed me dribbling along in the wet all by himself round by Cody's Lane will give him much consolation. Next, please. Anne.
Okay. That he says is so capable and sincerely Irish. He is indeed, judging by the sincerity of the trousers I saw on him. Wait, there's George's church bells. Wait. 3/4 the hour. 1. Wait, 2 o'clock. Well, that's a nice hour of the night for him to be coming home to anybody. Climbing down into the area. If anybody saw him, I'll knock him off that little habit tomorrow. First, I look at his shirt, you see, or I'll see if he has that French letter still in his pocketbook. Suppose he thinks I don't know how deceitful men are. All their 20 pockets aren't enough for their lies, and why should we tell them? Even if it's the truth, they don't believe you. then tucked up in bed like those babies in the Aristocrat's masterpiece. He brought me another time, as if we hadn't enough of that in real life. But I was some aristocratic, or whatever his name is, disgusting you more with those rotten pictures, children with 2 heads and no legs. That's the kind of villainy there's always dreamed about. With not another thing in their empty heads. They ought to get slow poison, the half of them. Then tea and toast for him, buttered on both sides, new-laid eggs, I suppose. I'm nothing any more when I wouldn't let him lick me in Hollis Street one night. Man, tyrant as ever, for the one thing he slept on the floor half the night, naked, the way the Jews used when somebody dies belonged to them. I wouldn't eat any breakfast or speak a word, wanting to be petted, so I thought. I stood out enough for one time and let him. He does it all wrong too, thinking only of his own pleasure. His tongue is too flat, or I don't know what. If he gets that, well then, I don't. I'll make him do it again if he doesn't mind himself, and lock him down to sleep in the coal cellar with the black beetles. I wonder what it hurt Josie off her head, my cast-offs. Such a born liar, too. No, he'd never have the courage with a married woman. That's why he wants me and Boylan. And Boylan, though, as for her, Dennis, as she calls him, that forlorn-looking spectacle, you couldn't call him a husband. Yes, some little bitch she's got in with even. When I was with him with Millie at the college races, that hornblower with the child's bonnet on the top of his nut, let us into the back way. He was throwing his sheep's eyes as those do, doing skirt duty up and down. I tried to wink at him first. No use, of course. And that's the way his money goes. This is the fruits of Mr. Paddington. Yes. Sylvia.
They were all in great style at the grand funeral. In the paper Boylan brought in, if they saw a real officer's funeral, that'd be something. Reversed arms, muffled drums, the poor horse walking behind in black, L. Bloom and Tom Kiernan, that drunk little Barley man that bit his tongue off falling down the men's WC, drunk in some place or other, and Martin Common and the 2 Daedalus, and Fanny McCoy's husband, white head of cabbage, skinny thing with a turn in her eye, tried to sing my songs. She'd want to be born all over again, and her old green dress with the low neck. She can't attract them any other way, like dabbling in a rainy day. I see it now, all now plainly. And they call that friendship, killing and then burying one another. And they all with their wives and families at home, especially, more especially Jack Carr, keeping the barmaid. He does. Of course, his wife is always sick, or is going to be sick, or just getting better of it. And he's a good-looking man. Still, though, he's getting a bit grey over the years. They're a nice lot, all of them. Well, they're not going to get my husband today again into their clutches. If I can help it, making fun of him, then behind his back. I know well when he goes on with his idiotics, because he has sense enough not to squander every penny piece he earns down their gullets, and looks after his wife and family. Good for nothings, poor Paddy Dignam. All the same, I'm sorry in a way for him. What are his wife and 5 children going to do unless he was insured? Comical little teetotum, always stuck up in some pub corner, and her or her son waiting. Bill Healy, won't you please come home? Her widow weeds wouldn't improve her appearance. They're awfully becoming, though if you're good looking. What man wasn't? Yes, he was at the Glen Cree dinner and Ben Dollard, bass, baritone. The night he borrowed the swallowtail to sing out of it in Hollis Street, squeezed and squashed into them and grinning all over his big dolly face, like a what Charles Bottic. Didn't he look a balmy bollocks, sure enough? That must have been a spectacle on the stage. Imagine paying 5 shillings in the preserve seat for that, to see him trotting off in these troilers. And Simon Dedalus too. He's always turning up half screwed, singing the second verse first. The love is the new was one of his. So sweetly sang the maiden in the hawthorn by. He was always on for flirtifying too. Next. Is that back to you, Duncan?
Mm-hmm. When I sang Mauritania with him at Freddie Mayer's private opera. He had a delicious, glorious voice. Phoebe, dearest, goodbye, sweetheart. He always sang it, not like Bartel D'Arcy, sweetheart, goodbye. Of course, he had a gift of the voice, so there was no art in it. All over you like a warm shower bath. Oh, Mauritania, wildwood flower. We sang splendidly, though. It was a bit too high for my register, even transposed, and he was married at the time to May Goulding. But then he'd say or do something to knock the good out of it. He's a widower now. I wonder what sort is his son. He says he's an author and going to be a university professor of Italian, and I'm to take lessons. What is the driving at now? Showing him my photo? It's not good of me. I ought to have got it taken in drapery. It never looks out of fashion. Still, I look young in it. I wonder he didn't make him a present of it altogether, and me too, after all. Why not? I saw him driving down to Kingsbridge Station with his father and mother. I was in mourning. That's 11 years ago now. Yeah, he'd be 11. Though, what was the good of going into mourning for what was neither one thing nor the other? Of course, he insisted he'd go into mourning for the cat. I suppose he's a man now by this time. He was an innocent boy then, and a darling little fellow in his Lord Fauntleroy suit and curly hair, like a prince on the stage. When I saw him at Matt Dillon's, he liked me too. I remember they all do. Wait, by God. Yeah, wait. Yes, hold on. He was on the cards this morning when I laid out the deck union with the young stranger, neither dark nor fair. You met before I thought it. Meant him, but he's no chicken, nor a stranger either. Besides, my face was turned the other way. What was the seventh card after that in the 10 of spades for the journey by land? Then there was a letter on its way in scandals to the three queens and the 8 of diamonds for a rise in society. Yes, wait, it all came out, and 2 red 8s for new garments. Huh, look at that. And didn't I dream something too? Yes, there was something about poetry in it. I hope he hasn't long, greasy hair hanging into his eyes and standing up like a red Indian. What do they go about like that for? Only getting themselves and their poetry laughed at. I always liked poetry. When I was a girl first, I thought he was a poet like Byron, and not an ounce of it in his composition. I thought he was quite different. I wonder, is he too young. He's about weight 88. I married 88. Millie's 15 yesterday, 89. What age was he then at Dylan's? 5 or 6, about 88? I suppose he's 20 or more. I'm not too old for him if he's 23 or 24. I hope that he's not that stuck-up university student sort. Nah, otherwise he wouldn't go sitting down in the old kitchen with him taking Epsis cocoa and talking, of course. He pretended to understand it all, probably. He told him he was out of Trinity College. He's very young to be a professor. I hope he's not a professor like Godwin was when he was a patent professor of John Jameson. Next, please.
They all write about some woman in their poetry. Well, I suppose he won't find many like me, or softly sighs of love the light guitar, where poetry is in the air, the blue sea and the moon shining so beautifully, coming back on the night boat from Tarifa, the lighthouse at Europa Point. The guitar that fellow played was so expressive. Will I ever go back there again? All new faces, two glancing eyes. A lattice hid, I'll sing that for him. My, they're my eyes if he's anything of a poet. Two eyes as darkly bright as love's own star. Aren't those beautiful words? As love's young star. It'll be a change, the Lord knows, to have an intelligent person to talk to about yourself, not always listening to him and Billy Prescott ad and Keyes ad and Tom the Devil's ad. And then if anything goes wrong in their business, we have to suffer. I'm sure he's very distinguished. I'd like to meet a man like that. God, not those other rock. Besides, he's young. Those fine young men I could see down in Margate's Strand bathing place from the side of the rock, standing up in the sun, naked like a god or something, and then plunging into the sea with them. Why aren't all men like that? There'd be some consolation for a woman like that. Lovely little statue he bought. I could look at him all day long, curly head, and his shoulders, his finger up for you to listen. There's real beauty in poetry for you. I often felt I wanted to kiss him all over, kiss him in my mouth if nobody was looking, as if it was asking you to suck it. So clean and white he looks with his boyish face. I would too in half a minute if some of it went down. What? It's only like gruel or the dew. There's no danger besides. He'd be so clean compared to those pigs of men. I suppose never dream of washing it from one year's end to the other, the most of them. Only that's what gives women the mustaches. I'm sure it'll be grand if I can only get in with a handsome young poet at my age. I'll throw them the first thing in the morning till I see if the wish card comes out, or I'll try pairing the lady herself and see if he comes out. I'll read and study all I can find, or learn a bit off by heart if I knew who he likes, so he won't think me stupid if he thinks all women are the same. And I can teach him the other part. I'll make him feel all over him till he half faints under me. Then he'll write about me lover and mistress publicly too, with our two photographs in all the papers when he becomes famous. Oh, but then what am I going to do about him, though? Next, please.
No, that's no way for him. Has he no manners, nor no refinement, nor no nothing in his nature, slapping us behind like that on my bottom, because I didn't call him Hugh, the ignoramus, that doesn't know poetry from a cabbage. That's what you get for not keeping them in their proper place, pulling off his shoes and trousers there on the chair before me, so barefaced, without even asking permission, and standing out that vulgar way in the half of a shirt they wear, to be admired like a priest or a butcher, or those old hypocrites in the time of Julius Caesar. course, he's right enough in his way to pass the time as a joke. Sure, you might as well be in bed with that. You might as well be in bed with what? With a lion. God, I'm sure he'd have something better to say for himself, an old lion would. Oh, well, I suppose it's because they were so plump and tempting in my short petticoat he couldn't resist. They excite myself sometimes. It's well for men. All the amount of pleasure they get off a woman's body were so round and white for them. Always I wished I was one myself for a change, just to try with that thing they have swelling upon you so hard and at the same time so soft when you touch it. My Uncle John has a thing long. I heard those corner boys saying, passing the corner of Marrowbone Lane, my Aunt Mary has a thing hairy because it was dark and they knew that a girl was passing. It didn't make me blush. Why should it either? It's only nature. And he puts his thing long into my Aunt Mary's hairy, etc. Turns out to be you put the handle in a sweeping brush. Then again, all over, they can pick and choose what they please, a married woman or a fast widow or a girl for their different tastes, like those houses round behind Irish Street. No, but we're always to be always chained up. They're not going to be chaining me up. No damn fear. Once I start, I tell you, for stupid husband's jealousy, why can't we all remain friends over it instead of quarrelling? Her husband found out it was what they did together. Well, naturally. And if he did, can he undo it? He's cognado anyway, whatever he does. And then he's going to the other mad extreme about the wife and fair tyrants, of course. The man never even casts a second thought on the husband and wife. Either it's the woman he wants and he gets her. What else were we given all those desires for, I'd like to know? I can't help it if I'm young still, can I? It's a wonder I'm not an old shriveled hag before my time, living with him so cold, never embracing me, except sometimes when he's asleep the wrong end of me, not knowing, I suppose, who he has. Any man that'd kiss a woman's bottom, I'd throw my hat at him. After that, he'd kiss anything unnatural, where we haven't one atom of any kind of expression in all of us. The same, 2 lumps of lard. Before ever I do that to him, the dirty brutes, the mere thought of it is enough. I kiss the feet of you, senorita. There's some sense in that. Didn't he kiss our hall door? Yes, he did. What a madman. Nobody understands his cracked ideas but me. Orla.
Still, of course, a woman wants to be embraced 20 times a day, almost to make her look young, no matter by who, so long as to be in love or loved by somebody. If the fellow you want isn't there, sometimes by the Lord God, I was thinking, would I go round by the quays there some dark evening where nobody'd know me and pick up a sailor off the sea? That'd be hot on for it. Not care a pin who I was, only to do it off up in a gate somewhere. And one of those wild-looking gypsies in Rathfarnham had their camp pitched near Bloomfield Laundry to try and steal our things, if they could. I only sent mine there a few times for the name Model Laundry, sending me back over and over some old ones, old stockings, that blackguarding-looking fellow with the fine eyes, peeling a switch, tack me in the dark, and drive me up against the wall without a word or a murder, anybody. What they do themselves, the fine gentlemen in their silk hats. And that KC lives up somewhere this way, coming out of Hardwick Lane the night he gave us the fish supper on account of winning over the boxing match. Of course, it was for me he gave it. I knew him by his gaiters and the walk. And when I turned round a minute after, just to see, there was a woman after coming out of it too, some filthy prostitute. Then he goes home to his wife. after that. Only I suppose the half of those sailors are rotten again with disease. Oh, move over your big carcass out of that, for the love of Mike. Listen to him, winds that waft my sighs to thee so well. He may sleep and sigh, the great suggester Don Poldo de la Flora. If he knew how he came out on the cards this morning, he'd have something to sigh for a dark man in some perplexity between 2 and 7 shillings, 2 in prison, the Lord knows what he does, that I don't know. And I'm to be slooching around down in the kitchen to get his lordship his breakfast while he's rolled up like a mummy. Will I indeed? Did you ever see me running? I just like to see myself at it, show them attention and they treat you like dirt. I don't care what anybody says. It'd be much better for the world to be governed by the women in it. You wouldn't see women going and killing one another and slaughtering. When do you ever see women rolling around drunk like they do, or gambling every penny they have and losing it on horses? Yes, because a woman, whatever she does, she knows where to stop. Anne.
Okay. Sure, they wouldn't be in the world at all only for us. They don't know what it is to be a woman and a mother. Wasn't thinking of murdering. How could they? Where were they, all of them? Be where would they all be if they hadn't all a mother to look after them? What I never had, that's why I suppose he's running wild now, out at night, away from his books and studies, and not living at home on account of the usual rowy house. I suppose, well, it's a poor case, that those that have a fine son like that, they're not satisfied, and I none. Was he not able to make one? Wasn't my fault we came together when I was watching the two dogs up in her behind in the middle of the naked street that disheartened me altogether. I suppose I oughtn't to have buried him in that little woolly jacket I knitted, crying as I was, but give it to some poor child. But I knew well I'd never have another. Our first death, too, it was. We were never the same since. Oh, I'm not going to think myself into a gloom about that any more. I wonder why he wouldn't stay the night. Felt all the time we were somebody strange he brought in, instead of roving around the city, meeting God knows who, night walkers and pickpocketers. His poor mother wouldn't like that if she were alive. Ruining himself for life, perhaps. Still, it's a lovely hour, so silent. I used to love coming home after dances. The air of the night. They have friends. They can talk to. We've none. Either he wants what he won't get, or it's some woman ready to stick her knife in you. I hate that in women. No wonder they treat us the way they do. We're a dreadful lot of bitches. I suppose it's all the troubles we have, making us so snappy. I'm not like that. He could easily have slept in there on the sofa in the other room. Suppose he was shy as a boy. He's been so young, hardly 20. Of me in the next room, he'd have heard me on the chamber. Rrr. What harm, Deathless? I wonder it's like those names in Gibraltar. Del Paz, Del Gracia. They have the devil's queer names there. Father, Villapana of Santa Maria. They gave me the rosary. Rosal says E. O'Reilly in the Calle La Siete Revoltas. Bizimbo and Mrs. Opiso in Governor Street. Oh, what a name. I'd go and drown myself in the first river if I had a name like her. Oh, my, and all the bits of streets. Paradise Ramp and Bedlam Ramp and Rogers Ramp and Crutches Ramp and the Devil's Gap steps. Well, small blame to me if I am a harem scarer. I know him a bit. I declare to God I don't feel a day older than then. I wonder, could I get my tongue round any of the Spanish? Como está usted? Muy bien, gracias. He was dead? See, I haven't forgot it at all. I thought I had only for the grammar. A noun is the name of any person, place, or thing. You see, I never tried to read that novel, The Cantankerous Mrs. Rubio lent to me by Valera, with the questions in it, all upside down, the two ways. That's funny. Always knew we'd go away in the end. I can tell him in Spanish, and he'd tell me the Italian. Then he'll see I'm not so ignorant. What a pity he didn't stay. I'm sure the poor fellow was dead tired and wanted a good sleep badly. Could have brought him in his breakfast in bed with a bit of toast, so long as I didn't do it on the night for bad luck, or if the woman had something nice and tasty. Okay, there are a few olives in the kitchen he might like. Never could bear the look of them in Avery's. Yeah. Sylvia, bless you.
Thank you.
I could do the Criada. The room looks all right since I changed it the other way round. You see, something was telling me all the time I'd have to introduce myself, not knowing me from Adam. Very funny. Wouldn't it? I'm his wife, or pretend we're in Spain with him, half awake without a God's notion. Where is he? Dos Havis Australis, Senior Lord, the cracked things come into my head sometimes. It'd be great fun supposing he stayed with us. Why not? There's a room upstairs empty, and Millie's bed in the back room. He could do his writing and studies at the table in there. For all this scribbling he does at it. And if he wants to read in bed in the morning like me, as he's making the breakfast, for I make it for the two. I'm sure I'm not going to take in lodgers off the street for him if he takes a gazebo of a house like this. I'd love to have a long talk with an intelligent, well-educated person. I'd have to get a pair of red slippers like those Turks with the fez used to sell, or yellow and nice semi-transparent morning gown that I badly want, or a peach blossom dressing jacket like the one long ago in Walpole's, only 8 and 6, or 18 and 6. I'll just give him one more chance. I'll get up early in the morning. I'm sick of Cohen's old bed. In any case, I might go over to the markets and see all the vegetables and cabbage and tomatoes, carrots, and all kinds of splendid fruits, all coming in lovely and fresh. Who knows who'd be the first man I'd meet? They're out looking for it in the morning. Mammy Dillon used to say, they are. And the night too, that was her mass going. I'd love a big juicy pear now to melt in your mouth like when I used to be in the longing. When I used to be in the longing way. Then I'll throw up his eggs and tea in the moustache cup. She gave it to me to make his mouth bigger. I suppose he'd like my nice cream too. I know what I'll do. I'll go about rather gay, not too much singing, a bit now and then mi fa pieta massito. Then I'll start dressing myself to go out. Presto non son più forte. I'll put on my best shift and drawers. Let him have a good eyeful out of that to make his Mickey stand for him. I'll let him know. That's what he wanted, that his wife is low fucked, yes, and damn well fucked too, up to my neck. Nearly not by him 5 or 6 times, hand running. There's a mark of his spunk in the clean sheet. I wouldn't bother to even iron it out. That ought to satisfy him. If you don't believe me, feel my belly, unless I make him stand there and put him into me. Duncan.
I've a mind to tell him every scrap and make him do it in front of me. Serve him right. It's all his own fault if I'm an adulteress. As the thing in the gallery said, oh, much about it, if that's all the harm ever we did in this vale of tears. God knows it's not much, doesn't everybody, only they hide it. I suppose that's what a woman is supposed to be. Therefore, or he wouldn't have made us the way he did. So attractive to men that if he wants to kiss my bottom, I'll drag open my drawers and bulge it right out in his face, as large as life. He can stick his tongue 7 miles up my hole as he's there, my brown part, and then I'll tell him I want £1, or perhaps 30 pence. I'll tell him I want to buy underclothes. Then he gives me the, well, he won't be too bad if I don't want to soak it all out of him like the other women do. I could often have written out a fine check for myself and write his name on it for a couple pounds. A few times he forgot to lock it up. Besides, he won't spend it. I'll let him do it. Off on me. Behind, provided he doesn't smear all my good drawers. No, I suppose that can't be helped. I'll do the indifferent, 1 or 2 questions. I'll know by the answer when he's like that. He can't keep a thing back. I know every turn in it. I'll tighten my bottom well and let out a few smutty words, smell rump or lick my shit, or the first mad thing that comes into my head. Then I'll suggest about, oh, wait, now, Sonny, my turn is coming. I'll be quite gay and friendly over it. Oh, but I was forgetting this bloody pest of a thing. Poof! You wouldn't know which to laugh or cry. There's such a mixture of plum and apple. No, I'll have to wear the old thing. So much the better, till it'll be more pointed. He'll never know whether he did it or not. There's that good enough for you any old thing at all. Then I'll wipe him off, just like a business, his omission. Then I'll go out and I'll have him eyeing the ceiling where she is. Next reader, please.
Where is she gone now? Make him want me. That's the only way, 1/4 after. What an unearthly hour. I suppose they're just getting up in China now, combing out their pigtails for the day. We'll soon have the nuns ringing the Angelus. They've nobody coming in to spoil their sleep, except an odd priest or two for his night office, or the alarm clock next door at cockshout clattering the brains out of itself. Let me see if I can doze off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What kind of flowers are those they invented like the stars? The wallpaper on Lombard Street was much nicer. The apron he gave me was like that. Something. Only I only wore it twice. Better lower this lamp and try it again so I can get up early. I'll go to Lamb's there beside Finlater's and get them to send us some flowers to put about the place in case he brings him home tomorrow. Next, please. Joe. No.
Today, I mean, no, Friday is an unlucky day. First, I want to do the place up some way. The dust grows in it, I think, while I'm asleep. Then we can have music and cigarettes. I can accompany him. First, I must clean the keys of the piano with milk. What'll I wear? Shall I wear a white rose or those fairy cakes in Lipton's? I love the smell of a rich big shop at 7 pence halfpenny a pound, or the other ones with the cherries in them and the pinky sugar 11pence a couple of pounds, of course. A nice plant in the middle of the table. I'd get that cheaper in, wait, where's this? I saw them not long ago. I love flowers. I'd love to have the whole place swimming in roses. God of heaven, there's nothing like nature. The wild mountains, then the sea and the waves rushing, then the beautiful country with fields of oats and wheat, all kinds of things, and all the fine cattle going about that would do your heart good to see. Rivers and lakes and flowers, all sorts of shapes and smells and colours springing up, even out of the ditches, primroses and violets. Nature it is. As for them saying there's no God, I wouldn't give a snap of my two fingers for all their learning. Why don't they go and create something? I often asked him, atheists or whatever they call themselves, go and wash the cobbles off themselves first, then go howling to the priest and they dying. And why? Why? Because they're afraid of hell on account of their bad consciences. Conscience. Ah, yes, I know them well. Who was the first person in the universe before there was anybody that made it at all? Who? Ah, they don't know. Neither do I. So there you are. They might as well try to stop the sun from rising tomorrow. The sun shines for you, he said, the day we were lying among the rhododendrons on Hoth Head in the grey tweed suit and a straw hat, the day I got him to propose to me. Yes, Orla.
I've lost my place. First, I gave him the bit of a seed cake out of my mouth, and it was leap year, like now. Yes, 16 years ago. My God, after that long kiss, I near lost my breath. Yes, he said, I was a flower of the mountain. Yes, so we are flowers, all a woman's body. Yes, was one true thing he said in his life, and the sun shines for you today. Yes, that was why I liked him, because I saw he understood or felt what a woman is, and I knew I could always get round him, and I gave him all the pleasure I could, leading him on till he asked me to say yes, and I wouldn't answer first, only looked out over the sea and the sky. I was thinking of so many things. You didn't know of Mulvey and Mr. Stanhope and Hester and father and old Captain Groves and the sailors playing all birds fly, and I say stoop, and washing up dishes, they called it on the pier, and the sentry in front of the governor's house, with the thing round his white helmet. Poor devil, half roasted, and the Spanish girls laughing in their shawls and their tall combs, and the auctions in the morning, and the Greeks and the Jews and the Arabs, and the devil knows who else. Anne.
From all the ends of Europe, and Duke Street and the fowl market all clucking outside Larby Shannon, and the poor donkeys slipping half asleep, and the vague fellows in the cloaks asleep in the shade on the steps, and the big wheels of the carts of the bulls, and the old castle thousands of years old, yes, and those handsome Moors, all in white and turbans like kings, asking you to sit down in their little bit of a shop and rondel, with the old windows of the posadas, too, glancing eyes and lattice hid for her lover to kiss the iron, and the wine shops, half open at night, and the castanets, and the night we missed the boat at Algeciras. And second there. The watchman going about serene with his lamp, and oh, that awful deep down torrent, oh, and the sea crimson, something like fire, and the glorious sunsets, and the fig trees in the Almada gardens. Yes. Okay, Sylvia, you might as well finish it.
And all the queer little streets, and the pink and blue and yellow houses, and the rose gardens, and the jessamine and geraniums and cactuses, Gibraltar. Gibraltar as a girl, where I was a flower of the mountain. Yes. When I put that rose in my hair like the Andalusian girls used to. Or shall I wear a red? Yes. And how he kissed me under the Moorish wall. And I thought, well, as well him as another. And then I asked him with my eyes to ask again. Yes. Then I asked him, would I? Yes to yes. Yes, my mountain flower. And first I put my arms around him, yes, and drew him down to me so he could feel my breast. All perfume, yes. And his heart was going like mad. And yes, I said, yes, I will. Yes. So
Excellent.
Bravo.
Very good.
there was
Wow.
That came in beautifully, didn't it?
Absolutely.
yeah, but
Perfect.
there's a lot in that bit, that whole bit that we read.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
And you have the last word in the book is Molly, yes. And the first
Yeah.
word she uttered, the first sound she uttered in the book was, "Mm."
Uh,
Do you want it out of the shop? Mm. You know,
Oh, right.
moves from the negative to the positive.
Indeed.
And if you read it like Finnegan's Wake and you go back to the beginning, you wonder if she's saying yes to stately plump Buck Mulligan.
Thank you, Plum Plum Mulligan.
I have here that we finished last time on December 28th, 2023. So it's been almost 2 years.
Wow.
We
It's been 2
spent
years? Oh my goodness. Okay.
almost on this go round.
But that's because we savored it this time.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
Yes.
And is this the end of round 6, Katrina?
Is it?
Yeah,
Is-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 that we've done at 6.
Yeah.
Is
Wow.
it, are we starting when we started in COVID with Sweeney's? No? Yes?
Well,
Oh,
the first time we finished was November of 2020. I have
Okay.
that with Siobhan reading the end.
Mhm.
And the next year, Sylvia, you were at the end.
Oh, really?
You
Then
take some
somebody from
pretty detailed
Sweeney's.
notes there, Katrina.
Oh, that's
well,
lovely.
well done. Yeah.
And then Lois in 25, 4, 23.
So
And
when
then
was Sylvia the second time?
Sylvia was 7, 16, 21.
Ah,
16th of
And then
July.
somebody from Sweeney's, I don't know who it was,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
22. And then we did it May 4th, we finished with Lois reading on May 4th, 23, and then we finished again with my reading actually at 12, 28, 23. So we did one reading within just 9 months or whatever that timing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Has it always been a woman finishing it? Or
I think so.
Yeah, there's
far.
kind of a kind of conspiracy going on. Make sure that it ends with a woman reading.
no?
Yeah. Yeah. Generally, if there's a woman coming along, you give way, because you want a female voice.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound right for a bunch of lads, but this is red.
Uh-huh.
True.
Yeah. And I assume that, there's all this skipping along. I mean, Molly is just kind of going from thought to thought to thought to thought. And then at the end, there are two very strong images The one with her was Poldy on House, and then the one with her sailor or soldier boy at the end. And then I assume she falls asleep.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe she just gets up and starts the breakfast for him.
Mm.
And he takes his
You think
toast.
so?
I think there are two chances of that. None
I
at all.
think there's, little to none.
But um, yeah, yeah. But there's the very poignant thing in the middle of it about the little boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And and then she quickly brings in something else.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't really prolong it, but it comes in. And she didn't make another. It's hard for me to find it. She
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, I just think that's kind of heart-wrenching in the middle of all this.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Then the knitting of the garment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
And
way it works, isn't it? I mean, that's the way these things do come to people.
Mm.
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 Yeah.
So what does she say? Does she get up the next morning and say, "I'm out of this"? And me and Boylan are an item.
I wouldn't depend on Boylan.
Mm.
Yeah, no. She knows better than depend upon Boylan.
But it's kind of hard to decipher, the stuff about Boylan. Because I want to get a picture of what she thinks of him. But she's kind of cute that she plasters it over with something else. So you don't really know.
Well, no. The start of that eighth sentence, you suddenly get this from her, the five negatives. No, that's no way for him. He has no manners, nor no refinement, nor nothing in his nature. That's remember Margaret Thatcher's famous what were they? No, 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 no. Do you remember that about the Irish agreement? Well, that's Molly's moment. There she is. He's just he's gone down there, and then she gives her objections. He's ignorant. He doesn't know anything about poetry. Like between poetry and a cabbage, he's pulling on his shoe and taking off his trousers. And standing out in that vulgar way, you might as well be in bed with a lion. No.
Oh yeah, the bed with the lion.
Yeah. Well, that's what she says. You might as well be in bed with an old lion. And he's goes over the side at that point. He's dead meat. He's gone. And
You think she won't let him in the door after that?
oh, I say she'll go and sing the song in Belfast and get the fee and that, but you can sing Dixie for any funny business, she's out of it. Like I mean, this no, 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 no. It's fantastic. I think it's tremendous. I'm delighted to read. And then you see as well, we find out there's a. Sorry, I'm beginning to lose.
No.
Please.
The way this scene ends in Homer, and by the way, the Odyssey does not finish with this. There's a further book, but at this point, there's the big argument about the bed, and Penelope raises the question for Odysseus. She says, "You have to understand that anyone could have got this information, and you could be a pretender here, And Odysseus is faced with this terrible problem. How does he persuade his wife that he is actually himself?
Mm-hmm.
And he does it in the only way you could, that when they go to bed, he repeats the words he spoke to her on their first night together. And the readers for 3,000 years are still waiting for those words. It's kept a secret between Odysseus and Penelope. But here, in the modern Penelope, we know what the words are. The time she persuaded him to propose, you were a flower of the mountain.
Yeah.
You see, we get the words in the modern version. So there is a kind of, I suppose it's an opposite, but it's a parallel opposite.
Huh.
So it's,
Wonderful. That's
and-
wonderful.
And first of all, Boylan goes over the side. She just ditches him. And then she's back to, I was a flower of the mountain. And she's this ecstasy then of memory, of romantic moments. And this is when where Bloom, the inarticulate would-be writer, has managed a poetic phrase in his life, and it gets him his wife. So that's all.
Oh, and Joe, did Penelope have loads of lovers?
No.
No, no,
No,
no, no, no,
No.
no. Penelope weaved a garment all day, and then when she finished the garment, her suitors, then she would have had to choose a suitor, and this went on for 10 years.
And they're so
20,
dumb.
20 years. Yeah, so then at night she used to unravel it. So
Yeah.
then she'd start again the next day.
Oh,
No, she was absolutely the total opposite.
Yeah.
so it was like the, what do you call it? The 1,001 Nights, or
kind of like the 1,001 Nights. Yes, she'd
The,
weave
the, the,
another tale.
the suitors don't seem to have been the brightest.
No, they didn't. No.
Oh well,
They were-
that's,
they were too busy
that's why
eating
you
and
serve
drinking.
them a
They were
strong
drinking.
drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Eating and drinking. They were
Yeah.
very happy.
And you see what Molly,
I'm always saying, yeah, sorry, no, go ahead.
One second.
No, I'm saying go on.
Oh, sorry. That Penelope unweaves the garment at night, and Molly has unwoven our story for us. She sorted out a lot of stuff that were, like Lenihan. She knows all about Lenihan. Like, and she has explained the book to us. She's unwoven a lot of the little problem areas in the book. She's unwoven the whole book. So the book is the garment. Some people say, so. And of course, she still has that secret. Not deliberately. She just what's his name? The lieutenant.
Oh, right.
Gardner?
Yeah. Well, Lieutenant's easy to keep a secret because he is gone forever, right?
Oh yeah, died in yeah. But what's his name?
Gardner. Is it Gardner?
Lieutenant Gardner, Second Lieutenant Gardner, and rank and number and all this sort of thing, and his cause of death.
So this is like the boy in the
Oh,
Story
yeah.
of the Dead,
Yeah.
who is preserved as a pure memory, a pure, glorious,
Michael
tragic memory.
Yeah.
Michael Fury.
Michael Fury.
Yeah.
And Michael Fury is at one level. He's also Romeo. Had Juliet survived, and Romeo died, and then his name is Fury.
Yeah.
And the Furies are anyone know Aeschylus's play?
The Furies are the women who torment and kill if you don't live sincerely or righteously.
They are more specifically, they are the spirits that avenge the death of a mother. The death of a mother by a son, and as Agamemnon's wife is dying, then these spirits begin to rise in Aeschylus' play.
Clytemnestra, or whatever her name was.
Clytemnestra, Nestra is going down, then these spirits come out the chorus. Seek, seek, scour the ground. The mother killer's got to be found. Seek, seek, scour the ground. Play, and they pursue her son. Well, but in the end, the Furies relent, and they are brought in. They represent revenge,
Mhm.
and they're coming in, listening to Athena, the goddess, that Athens produces justice, courts, and the case is argued, and the many days, menos is anger. That's the key word in the first word in European literature is anger, menos, and they're many days. They're the angry ones, but the F goes in front. They become the humany days. That's the F of Eucharist.
Mm.
They are the kindly ones. So
Mm.
what's happening is that Fury has become the spirit, a spirit. That's why his soul swoons. And he has intervened in Greta's life and given her back her husband. You see? So the Michael Fury's soul swoons over the cemetery at the end. It's one of those double uses of his. But if you read it that way, that he has become Fury has become a kindly one who has made Greta's husband into a different man who is born again, and that he dies in that room as Conor Moore. That's the legend of Conor Moore, an ancient Celtic legend of Conroy the Great. We were very great. I was very great with him. Greta said at one point, and that's the Moor. Moor is Irish for great, and Greta makes a man great. You see, she makes Conroy. Conroy is Irish for Conroy. Conor Moore is Conroy the Great. You see, and so that's the Fury coming. And we're wondering a long way from.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, but
No, but I can just
Oh,
very
this is
interesting,
great.
very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
no, but it's
the key.
it's wonderful to make the connect. All the
Yeah.
connections are woven into it.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
Mm.
That's beautiful.
It is.
Mm.
And
It
so
is beautiful, but that seems like a younger Joyce
yeah, the younger Joyce.
who ties it up that nicely, so to speak.
Yeah,
That by Greta actually bringing forth her secret,
yeah,
it changes her husband. And
He's right.
because he brings up the secret, then Michael Fury can go away
yeah,
for the most part. And
yeah.
then you're telling us that from that point on that the relationship between Greta and her husband will become better and more loving.
And that's why they are still married, happily married in this book. This book is 9 years later, or well, this is '04. It's 11 years later, and we hear that Greta was what was Greta Conroy wearing, so we hear of them as married still in
Oh.
this book.
Right,
But
right. But
happens
I assume that the Ulysses is a slightly different Joyce,
oh
uh,
yeah,
and that it is not so clear. Like
yeah,
to me, my interpretation of this is that most of Penelope, that Molly is going through memories and ideas and emotions, and there's a lot of flux and chaos in it, and nothing is really holding as she goes from one to the other to another to another. But at the end, she comes to two great consoling visions.
yeah,
The vision of her and Poldy on the hill at House,
yeah,
and then the vision of her and Gardner.
yeah.
and that is what soothes her soul and allows her to sleep in the end.
Good point. Yeah.
Whereas her interlude with Boylan didn't do that at all. I
Yeah.
mean, it was probably emotional and okay, but it really disturbed her.
Yeah.
And she was not able to sleep until she went through her, if you will, laundry list of stuff. And finally realized as her energy started being spent, then she came down to the roots
Yeah.
of what gave her hope and satisfaction.
That's true. Yeah. And we get that. You see her coming right down to that point. That line, oh, but then what am I going to do about him?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
about him.
As if, she's still in control, where am I going to pack him away? I'll put him in the attic. No, but
Joe, oh,
go back to Michael Fury. Michael Fury is summoned by the song, that
Oh,
Darcy starts singing the song. And don't forget,
huh,
Mr. Brown is death at the dead dinner. He is
mhm.
So death is there, and then this song summons the soul of Michael Fury, and Greta is unaware of it. She can't remember the song. She says, "What's that
Yeah,
song?"
right. Less Outram.
Fury,
Oh,
Fury is
God.
taking his place. So, but anyway, in many ways, the ending of The Dead is much nicer than the ending of Ulysses. It's much more.
Yeah, it's a much more optimistic ending. I mean, I think that the promise of the end of Ulysses is that things will bump along. They
Things,
will bump along together and
yeah,
occasionally have a meeting
yeah. It's
or
in, yeah. Neither of these characters, neither Bloom nor Molly, at any stage does it cross their mind that they made a promise to their partner to be faithful. Like none of them argue. Bloom doesn't say, "Well, I really shouldn't be doing that." Writing to Martha Clifford and all this, that belongs to Molly. You gave that away, and she doesn't sort of say, "Well, I shouldn't really be." All that emotional life belongs to my husband, not to Boylan. Like they've no sense of right or wrong. This sort of that surfaces anywhere in either of them. They're
Yeah.
gaslighting. But
Joe,
that's
where does Greta Conroy show up in Ulysses?
great question, Katrina.
I'm just I don't remember that. And
It's in what we read in Penelope somewhere. What was Greta wearing?
oh, okay.
And then earlier
Oh,
on, Bloom uh,
oh,
at the start of the Sea Church. Where is that? That's Gertie McDowell. He
yeah,
they say, oh, that's so and so's cousin, isn't it? Or brother? It's his brother, isn't it? It's
oh, huh,
that. So
That's right.
they're still being discussed as a married couple.
huh.
Okay. So
Great. That's good to know.
That's
yeah,
great because these are all things we can watch out for next time around.
Yes.
okay.
Anyway, it sounds like we're going like a speeding train by if Duncan has anything to do with it.
No, it won't be quite like a speeding train. I really do want us to read it in the
Oh,
actual reading for us to hopefully just concentrate on the rhythm and the
Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
and the overall story, and then we'll fill in a few pieces. But that we will not try to do it in the depths. And I don't think it's going to take us all that long
yeah,
to read it in a leisurely manner.
Mhm.
And then the next time when we go back to it, then we'll go back to more in-depth discussion. That's how I envision it.
no,
Learn-
yeah, no, I agree with you because it's working really nicely in the Tempest.
Yeah,
yeah.
it did work well this last time. It was interesting.
It,
This
it,
is our Shakespeare, and
yeah.
we're not.
Have you moved on? to the Tempest?
Yes, we wrapped up Lear and we're well into the Tempest right now.
Where have you been, Anne? I thought were you not there?
I was doing a course.
Oh, right, that's allowed.
Yeah.
No.
My God,
Anyway, we all know where we start with Ulysses next
Fair
time.
idea. Page 3.
Yay.
Stately Blump Buck Mulligan.
Plump.
yes.
I might.
Sorry, go ahead, Sylvia.
No, I was going to talk about tomorrow, but Joe,
I
say
just-
something.
Could I ask, do you remember the young man who joined us, David? Was it David is the name? Do you remember
He joined us for a couple of times.
Yeah. That's it. Like, it's very hard. I think that was his first time through Ulysses. It's very hard to do Ulysses at that pace if it's your first time. But the one you're planning would be great for him.
Yes. I should send him a note
Yeah.
about
I had a
that. And
correspondence with
then,
him, and he was very, very interested in stuff,
mhm.
And like I have a guy who might come in as well. One of my group who I don't know if Thursday would suit him, but he's thinking of going to Sweeney's on a Thursday.
Mhm.
But he might suit him to be online. I'll offer it to I just let him know. He
Mhm.
wrote me
Yeah.
asking. He was
And if
saying,
anybody else knows somebody who's been interested in Ulysses, but they feel they have to start at the beginning of the book.
yeah. I tell you, Donna does not like the slow reads at all.
Okay.
And not just us, any stories. He likes the pace.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be a good guy saying this is going to be at a pace. Not I don't want to call it a fast read, but a
A stately pace.
Is Donovan, is he not doing something on a Thursday night, Joe? Well, you can ask.
I'm sure that's over. Whatever it was, he was doing a course in
The Joyce Center.
like those courses, like there's just too many people at them. They're
Mhm.
I have a pal there was talking yesterday. He's on a wake reading. He's 100 on the reading.
Oh
And
yeah, I didn't even.
like it's far too many people. And the great and the good are there, and they get to speak, and no one else.
Mhm.
So so I'd say whatever Duncan was doing, sorry, it was Donna was doing, but just let him know that we've turned.
Yeah.
Very hard for beginners is to get in on page 1, and that
Okay.
go.
Yeah, and actually I'll let Des know too. Des might be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've tried. I have brought a couple of people, but you almost have to go and sit with them. I had to go and visit them in Donegal and get them online.
Yeah.
It is a big commitment. I hate missing it.
Yeah, but I mean, very few stay for full reading.
Yeah.
Life intervenes. People have to get their hips done, and it comes up like 10. It takes 10 months to do it. I have I've done a lot of taking first timers, and I have a pace that I work at, and it's exactly 10 months.
Uh-huh.
And any faster than that is too fast. Any slower than that, and you lose them. But if you go at that pace, I generally end up with the same number as I started.
Oh, good. Good.
But obviously, that's like all sorts of other things. People emigrate and all. Yeah, and you can't expect it.
Right.
But that-
Anyway, we will begin again
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm
Thursday, and
not-
tomorrow is the Tempest, and of course Monday we will be continuing to work on Through the
Alice.
Looking Glass.
Good.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
This is wonderful.